Okay, so for our virtual lesson today, we're going to be talking about 6.7, and we're going to be talking about trapezoids. Now, this one is going to have a couple sections, but what we're going to focus on is when a trapezoid has a median. So when we talk about trapezoids, okay, it's going to be one type of quadrilateral, all right? And when we have the trapezoid, it just has at least one set of parallel sides. Okay, so here can be an example of a trapezoid. Okay, so this is going to be that first one right off the bat from the quadrilaterals that we talked about. So for a trapezoid, okay, in some trapezoids we are going to have a median. So with that median, like we've talked about, like with the medians that were bisecting those triangles, um, it's going to be split right in half. Okay, so that's the biggest thing that we need to know when we are solving for these values. So right here we have a median. Now let's go ahead and look at an example that we will have today. So let's say I have this trapezoid A, B, C, D, right? And I have a median right here. Let's say that AB has a value of 4. We're going to say DC has a value of 12, and we need to find the value of the median. So I'm just going to go ahead and say median EF. So find the median value EF. Now when we do this, the median is going to be directly in the middle. So it's going to be the value of in between the top and the bottom. So the equation that we're going to set it up is, for specifically this one, we're going to do AB plus DC divided by 2, and that's going to equal EF. So let's go ahead and put our values in. So AB has a value of 4 plus DC has a value of 12 divided by 2. That's going to equal EF. When we add those together, we get 16 divided by 2 equals EF. And therefore, our value 16 divided by 2, our value is going to be 8. So that's what we get for our value of EF. All right, our value is 8. Okay, perfect. So this is what it's going to look like for our examples, and then we will also have some algebraic examples as well. So let's go ahead and look at some example questions that we will have today. And sometimes they're going to have decimals. So if we look at the very top question, it says find the length of the median of each of the trapezoids. Okay, so that top value and the bottom value are going to be added together and divided by 2 to find the median. So UV is going to be our median. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 6.8 plus 9 divided by 2 to find our value of UV. So let's do 6.8 plus 9. That is going to be 15.8 divided by 2 equals UV. And then divided by 2, and UV equals 7.9. So our value is going to be 7.9 for UV. Okay, perfect. Now feel free, look at the next one, pause the video and try this one on your own. But what we need to do on this one is, again, we're finding the median. So on this one, we need to add the top and the bottom again to get our median. So we'll do 3.1 plus 5.7 divided by 2 to find ML, which is our median. Okay, so we need 13.1 plus 5.7, 18.8 divided by 2 for our ML. And what we should get is 9.4. ML equals 9.4. Okay, perfect. Now, let's look at some examples on algebraic versions. Okay, so this one, we need to solve for x. Each figure in the trapezoid, um, each figure is a trapezoid with a median included. Okay, so this is going to be the same thing, but we just have to add a little bit of algebra. So what we're typically doing is we were adding the top and the bottom, and it equaled the median. So we're going to do the same thing here, just our median isn't just going to be x, is what we're finding for. So we're still going to add our top and bottom values, so 23 plus 45. And we're going to divide that by 2. And this time it's going to equal, oops, sorry, not 3x, 35x minus 1. Okay, and then we just solve from there. So we just do the same thing. So let's do 23 plus 45. So 23 plus 45 is 68. Divided by 2 equals 35x minus 1. We do the 68 divided by 2. We get 34 equals 35x minus 1. Alright, then we get to combine our like terms. And then get x by itself. So we need to add 1 over. We have 35 equals 35x. We divide by 35, and x equals 1. So that's exactly what we want. And then if we go back into our original equation, we plug 1 in for x. We have 35 times 1 minus 1. So 35 times 1 is 35 minus 1. So this whole value is going to be 34. Okay, perfect. And this is what we do when we have the algebraic version. So I'm not going to solve this one, so I can move on. But if you want to solve this one, go ahead and pause it and try it on your own. And then let's go ahead and look at our next one. Okay. This one, we just need to find the length of the median of each trapezoid. So it just adds a little bit more algebra again. So this time, again, we add our top and bottom to equal that to our median. So we're going to have 20, which is our top value. Add it to the bottom value. So I'm going to add it to 2x minus 2. And again, still going to divide it by 2. And that's going to equal our median. Okay, so we set it up the same way. You add the top and the bottom, and you equal it to the median. So add the top 2 divided by 2, equal that to the median. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve from here. I got to combine my like terms. So 20 minus 2, so it's going to be 18 plus 2x divided by 2 equals 4x minus 6. Now, in this one, okay, I have an x on top. When that happens, how do we get rid of this 2 on the bottom? All right, in order to get rid of the 2, we need to multiply 2 on both sides. Okay, so this time our 2's are going to cancel out. So I have 18 plus 2x equals, and then I need to multiply 2 times both values. Okay, so what I'm going to do is 2 times 4x, it's going to be 8x, minus 6 times 2, it's going to be minus 12. All right, now I need to get the x's by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 12 over. It's going to give me 30 plus 2x equals 8x. All right, and then I'm going to move over here. And I'm just going to make my pencil a little bit smaller so I can fit everything. So I have 30 plus 2x equals 8x. Got to subtract that 2 over. Now I have 30 equals 6x, because that's 8 minus 2. Divide by 6, and what do we get for x? 30 divided by 6 is 5. So x equals 5. But that doesn't tell us what we need to find. We need to find the length of the median. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I need to plug this in to my original equation. So I'm going to do 4 times 5 minus 6. 4 times 5 is 20 minus 6. And then 20 minus 6 is 14. So my value of DC equals 14. Okay, perfect. All right, and that's exactly what I need to do right there. Now let's go ahead and look at another example. Now that's what we have to do when we're finding our median. Now in some cases we're going to have questions that are going to say find the length of the base indicated in each trapezoid. So this time I don't have my median, but we're still going to set it up in the same way we do for each question. So what I'm going to do here is I need to add the top and bottom together. Well, I'm going to do 20 plus, okay, well I don't have, okay, the bottom value this time. So I'm going to represent it by x. So I'm going to make that x, and I need to divide those by 2, and that's going to equal my median. Okay, perfect. Now what we did earlier, how do I get rid of the 2 on the bottom? I got to multiply both sides times 2. So these 2's cancel out. And that gives me 20 plus x equals 25 times 2, which is 50. Subtract my 20. X equals 30. Okay, perfect. And there is my value of the bottom side. Let's go ahead and just do the same thing for number 8. Okay, I need to add my top and bottom together. Let's represent this by x. So I have x plus 14. Remember to divide it by 2, and that equals the median. Okay, need to get rid of the 2 on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply it by both sides. These 2's are going to cancel out, so I have x plus 14 equals 17 times 2. That's going to be 34. Now I need to subtract 14, and then x equals 34 minus 14 is going to be 20. So x equals 20, and that's going to be our value right here. Perfect. Now you're going to have some examples of finding the base as well. So if we look at this right here, okay, we'll just do one last example together. This says find FG. So we're finding our value of the top base, not the median. Now you just set it up the same way as you do normally, okay, where you have to add the top and the bottom, and you're going to equal that to the median. So you need to add the top and the bottom together, and then don't forget to divide by 2. So I need to make sure I add 23x plus 26x plus 3 divided by 2, and that's going to equal 26x. So let's combine our like terms on top. So I have 23x plus 26x. That's going to give me 49x plus 3 divided by 2 equals 26x. Now I got to get rid of the 2 on the bottom. So you have to multiply both sides times 2. When that happens, these 2's cancel out like normal. And that leaves us with 49x plus 3. And then we need to multiply everything on the right times 2. Luckily on the right, it's just going to be 26x. So we just do 26 times 2. And that just gives us 52x. Now I need to get my x by itself. So I'm going to subtract the 4x over, or not the 4x, the 49x over. That leaves me with just 3 on this side equals 59 minus 49. X is going to be 3x divided by 3. And what do we get? We get x equals 1. Now, that doesn't tell us to find x, it tells us to find fg. Okay? Well, luckily, fg is just 23x. So 23 times 1 is just going to be 23. So there is our value of FG. Okay, now when you are doing this, okay, this is not going to be on Delta Math. It is going to be a worksheet that you need to do on a separate sheet of paper. On that separate sheet of paper, you are going to bring that into the next class that we have. So hopefully tomorrow, and then we will look at that together, and then add some. We'll eventually add the angles to it. So just make sure you read the Google Classroom, and then work on that assignment today.